Hello, my name is Ewan Johnson, and today I'm going to be giving an informative speech about what video games are, the different kinds of video games, and how they can affect the teens, youth, and just kind of everybody in general. So, a little background about video games. The very first video game ever created was Pong, which then evolved into Tetris, Pac-Man, and then into video games that are now known like Call of Duty, Halo, and Minecraft, etc. There are different kinds of video games. Your more violent kind of video games, your FPSs, your Call of Duties, Halos, those kinds. You have your sports video games like FIFA and Madden. And then you have your more puzzle, kind of abstract thinking video games like Tetris and Pac-Man, require a little bit deeper thinking into them. So video games are kind of like a pastime and a way for kids to get away from the real world, let's say. Kind of can be compared to going out and playing football in the backyard with your friends, just a way for you to be competitive with each other, a way to get your mind off things. And the differences in violent video games and non-violent video games, like your puzzle games, is that violent video games don't always lead to behaviors like aggression, but they can lead to behaviors like alcohol and drug use. They can lead to smoking cigarettes, delinquency in young ones, and even risky sex, according to the Office of Communication at Dartmouth in August of 2014. Puzzle and strategy video games, however, can be used to improve mental skills and provide a higher level and more abstract thinking. A study done by Gwenda Warr from Parenting Science, revised in March of 2023, suggests that long-term effects are much harder to study because they're harder to gain knowledge, because when people know that they're being studied, you can get this skewed outlook on things, whether it's skewed in the direction you want it to go or skewed in the direction you don't want it to go. When it's skewed, it throws off the whole study. So that's why when you research, you have a lot more of short-term effects on what video games do to young ones. And research also done by Gwenda Warr from Parenting Study in March of 2023, there was a group of kids. Half of them were placed where they played non-violent video games. Another half played violent video games. And then after they were given the opportunity to either help their peers earn some money or hinder. And it was found that right after the kids playing non-violent video games chose to help their peer earn money, and then right after the kids that chose to play violent video games decided, hey, why can't I have that money? Why do you get that money? And they chose more of an antagonistic kind of outlook onto things. So that goes to show back to that short-term effect. Studies done by Lisa Bowen from the American Psychological Association in February of 2014 suggested that violent video games aren't always negative, and they can have positive outcomes on the youth, such as it can boost learning, health, and social skills. You get online, you start playing with people, you gotta learn how to talk, you gotta learn how to communicate, social awareness, social skills like that. And although the negative effects should not really be overlooked, it's just you need to do more of an in-depth study in order to better understand both positive and negative skills, positive and negative impacts on the youth, teens, and just anyone in general. And Lisa Bowen also suggests that it is widely known for video games to be intellectually lazy, and it just doesn't really help kids do anything. And that is, however, not true. They can strengthen cognitive skills such as spatial navigation, reasoning, memory, and perception. And particularly, that's true for shooter games and your FPS, more violent video games. To bounce off that, a study done in 2013 that was provided by Lisa Bowen in the American Psychological Association suggests that a player's capacity to think in 3 dimensions, it was just as well as people who went through an academic course to enhance the same skills as well. So violent video games aren't always negative. So that's just kind of a little insight on violent video games and non-violent video games and the difference between the two and how they can affect youth, teens, and anyone in general. Thank you.